Hello everybody, you're here with Claro Beauty with your host Claudia Lara. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're gonna do an episode of fragrance, and I'm actually very excited about this fragrance in particular because I never have smelled anything from this house, which is Bond Number 9, and I've heard great things about this fragrance, and it's supposed to be an amber floral. I love amber and I love floral. So I'm very curious if this will be the fragrance for me. So the name of the fragrance is Greenwish Village, Bond Number 9, for women and for men. So if you're interested on my first impressions, never smelled this fragrance before. If you're interested on that, please keep on watching. This is the time that I ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And so, yes, I have never tried this fragrance before. I only have read and heard great things about it. And if you haven't watched any of my episodes before, I'm not a very connoisseur of fragrances, but I love experimenting with them and experimenting here with you. And so usually what I try to do is you'll see how my mood changes or what I'm feeling with the experience of the fragrance. And then I read a little bit of the fragrance, very tiny bit, on one website and then on the actual fragrance website. And I tell you who do I think is for and what do I think is for, what activity or where to take it, etc. So let's begin. I already said the name, Greenwish Village, Bond Number 9, for woman and man. Nowadays, most fragrances, they say, is unisex. I'm very surprised. And then I always said that I prefer when they say if it's for male or for female. But now I don't, because there's some fragrances that that's my dog. There's some fragrances that they're very distinctively say if it's for men and women, and then I'm like, oh no, this is very unisex. Both can wear it. Of course, both can wear it. You can do whatever you want. So nowadays, let's just say they're more masculine or more feminine. I mean, maybe even then we'll get in trouble. All right, we're not gonna get into that. Let me move along. So it says Greenwish Village by Bond Number 9 is an amber floral fragrance for women and men. Repeating myself. Greenwich Village was launched in 2019, so very new, very recent. Top notes, well, we'll get to that in 1 second. Let's spray it. Let's start to see how it affects me, what's going on with this. All right, I just wanted to make sure I was not wearing any other fragrance from early this morning, but no, I wasn't. And I have washed my hands so many times through the day. What was I thinking? Wow. Oh, this is lovely. Yes, I do see a little bit of the masculine there, but it is more feminine. I do see the unisex in it. Oh my God, this is so lovely. Some of the comments I had read about it was that they were like hooked to it. I totally can see why that hookness. There's that sweetness, maybe vanilla sweetness. I don't know if it has vanilla, but it gives me that sort of vanilla sweetness hook, but it doesn't feel too sweet, but it has it. Ooh, I can smell the floral, which is my preference, better than even the sweetness and that sort of vanilla that I tell you about. Let's see if it does have it. So I first go to Fragrantica. It's a website where a lot of fragrances are in there just because it gives me kind of a standard where to begin, and they list the main course on the fragrance. Now, after I go to actual website and read the ingredients. So, you know, sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't. But so the main course, according to this website, is fresh, floral, fruity, musky, sweet, amber, vanilla, tropical, aquatic, and powdery. Ooh, a lot. I don't blame them. It's a complex, you know, it's one of those upscale fragrances, right? They become a little more complex. You don't smell the alcohol when you first apply it. You know, there's, I don't know if this will be niche or just designer. I guess it would be more niche, right? The Bond number 9. But I know Bond number 9 has many choices in fragrances. I guess it will be niche. Because when I've seen it in the department store, you know, there's like all of this. If you haven't seen them, it's a very cool, modern bottle. They look like a star, you know, a star with 1, 2, 3, 4 points, but then the top will be the 5th one sort of thing, and then it has a top. And so all of the bottles look like that, but then they have very cool, edgy designs, very modern designs. This one in particular is a color blue aqua with gold. And you'll see it in the flyer of the video. That's where, you know, you can really see the bottle. So they're pretty cool. It seems like big enough where you can hold it with your hand, and it's edgy and it's like that. Now it's interesting because I keep going back at it, and as it's settling, I'm smelling more of that first hint of masculinity that I describe more than the floral. And I think what I attend to that is the aquatic. I'm not very big in aquatic fragrances, and I always think of them as the male fragrances. You know, the very sporty sort of fragrances, the ones that I see a man in a boat, you know, a velero. What do you call velero in English? You know, one of those that you have to keep raising the sort of the flag of the boat and you keep moving. I can't believe it, I forgot the name in English. But anyhow, I always think of a man in shorts with a polo shirt with that aquatic sort of sporty fragrance. So that's what I attend for a more masculine, but it's not necessarily, it's just what I keep going at it because it just smells good. I prefer the white floral part of it. And it seems that the more it's settling, the less I can grab it. I think that's what I keep going back at it, wanting more of that. And it's probably there, but mesh, because it's one of the second main accords. The first one is fresh and then floral. Fresh, yeah, it smells fresh. I was thinking if clean, but I usually put clean with more green sort of fragrances, and this one I don't get that green sort of plants or herbs or you know, garden, even though it's a white floral, so it is sort of opening and fresh. There you have it, you know, but not in a clean. Now the last of these accords talk about powdery, so I guess that gives it that last hint where it brings elegance to it, maybe with the powdery. I don't know if you think of powdery as elegant. You know, I always think of number 5, the Chanel. That's my reference of powdery, but it doesn't have to smell like the number 5. It just gives you this powdery feel at the end, just a hint. Because when I re-smell it, there's this opening, there's this fragrance, this feeling, and then at the end, it's almost like you smell it, go through this whole experience, and as you swallow or as it metabolizes and settles, you feel the powdery. It's very interesting. Anyhow, that's as smart as we're gonna get here. Let's go to the actual website. So this one is called Greenwich Village, and it's very interesting. It's a small little paragraph, not very long, but I think it's important to mention because it says, with Greenwich Village, Bond number 9 brilliantly captures one of New York's most beloved neighborhoods in a scent. It is a celebration of individuality and creativity and the rich heritage of the city's artists and intelligentsia and the community they created. The result is an oriental vanilla with a touch of light floralcy. Very eloquently with the words. And, you know, a little snobby with the intelligently and creativity. You know, it feels like one of those groups where there's poets and musicians and intellectuals and, you know, all of these things based on these words. I must say that by smelling it, I don't feel all that. But I can see where they're coming from, especially if the Greenwich Village, I've been there, you know, So I wouldn't describe that neighborhood with this scent, but okay, nice. I guess they thought of it this way. So first of all, when I think of New York, and I've been there in the summer as well, but when I think of New York, I don't know why I think more of fall, winter. Not necessarily, but that's how I feel. I actually been in summers where it's very hot, but I also been in the winter and the fall. But I think of New York more in that fall, winter, and this fragrance does not take me there. This is more spring, summer to me. And when they're describing Greenwich Village, which is very artist sort of place, I would have gone a little more complexity, a little more depth to the fragrance, because this is more youthful. It's just fun. It's just, I guess, creative. There's a little video here. I haven't watched it, but just the top of it. This is in their actual website. I see a lot of, it seems like youngsters, you know, probably in their 20s or 30s, and they do look like, you know, they're going to college as an artist or young artist. And there's a man holding the bottle, so with the aqua blue. So yeah, I can see that picture related to the actual fragrance. Now I'm curious to watch the video. It's called Bond Number 9 Greenwich Village. Apparently it's also on YouTube. So, do I like this fragrance? Yes, I do. I heard another YouTuber talking that this reminds her of a very wealthy person, like rich fragrance. It has the elegance of a fragrance, the complexity of a fragrance, the deepness of a fragrance. It does smell invigorating, you know, one of those, it has some projection, you know, you do feel a cloud of it, so there's some quality to it. I wouldn't say this reminds me of elegance. I mean, immediately fragrance and elegance takes me to Paris, you know, it takes me a little bit of an older world sort of thing, and this fragrance does not do that for me. So I wouldn't put it into this wealth, maybe new money, not old money, maybe. So who do I like this fragrance? Yes. Would I be buying this bottle? No. This fragrance is because I tend more on that. I want a little more depth, a little more mystery, a little heavier. This is a very sort of opening, light, youthful, yeah, trendy. I mean, even look at how I start moving, you know, yes, I can feel, if I was in my 30s, you know, all dressed up and feeling very nice with my long hair and, you know, that kind of, I don't know, would I say snobby? Or, yeah, it's just, that's what it reminds me of. It doesn't remind me, like, I don't feel in the grounding and center and wise and you know, I'll read a book or I'll discuss poetry. No, it reminds me more, let's dance, let's dance, you know, have fun with that. And if I'm gonna create, I want very bright colors and maybe strikes abstract, and it doesn't make me creative into, you know, the El David, you know, like very precise and romance and reds and burgundies from the fall. No, it's more spring, summer. Yeah, maybe we'll create something outside, you know, one of those very abstract, sort of huge, you know, what do you call it? Metal something that goes outdoors, statues, monuments, I don't know. You know, there's a big sign with the letters that spell out love in a cube in New York, you know. This fragrance, yeah, it's sort of that vibe, you know. So maybe New York is becoming that, maybe. I don't know. I find New York a little more complex, depth. But yeah, it's full of this youth, I guess, as well. It's not old world, even though it's been here for centuries now. But I love it. I keep smelling it now that it's settling down. And you see that I have become, because I always see how I become with the fragrance, I become a little more youthful, a little more playful, creative, but in a very light way, conversation in a very light way, not very serious. So all of those are very good qualities. No, I would not be buying this bottle for me because it's too much. I get overwhelmed with certain fragrances. It's just too much. Even if I was going to a night out, it's just, yeah, I started feeling not comfortable in my skin when the fragrance are so unsettling. Yeah, and so those are my thoughts. Who would I think of for? Definitely 30s, maybe 40s. You know, I'm gonna turn 50. I don't see it for a older than me generation. Of course you can. Maybe you do feel this youthful in you. Maybe you're a male older than me and you feel this youthful in you, because I do see that little manly. I think that's the aquatic part of it, sporty part of it. Very lightly, very towards the end. So don't think that's the main thing, but I do smell it. So 30s, 40s, yes, somebody dressed up, somebody that knows her fashion, but in a very sweet, sort of trendy sort of way, not in a very, you know, extreme, or, you know, like, yeah, like I don't see Carolina Herrera wearing this. Maybe, but that's not what he reminds me of. So 30s, 40s, youthful, yeah, university, or just first in the career, working, and cocktails at night. I do see that. It's invasive, but in a cute sort of way. So it's not in your face, it's not hitting me. It would be like, wow, this person likes their fragrance and they smell nice. And so that's where I will leave it. Yeah, big artist, I'm not sure, but I would say whoever is wearing this, say good luck, because it feels like you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. That's the feel. Yeah, maybe you come from money and you don't have to make it for financially reasons, but you know, setting your mark, or accomplishing what you're doing, or so in that way, I do agree with that YouTuber in the sense of success. She describes that there's a smell that a successful person. Well, if they're not successful, they're on their way to be successful, because it's not the smell of success and money, but it is the smell of this movement forward and a light, accomplished, fine sort of thing. So as a gift, yeah, absolutely, for somebody that just graduated college, that could be a good gift. So would men? Yes, I think it could be for men and for women. I think it would be more towards women, more female, but there's some men that tend to be in that way. So I would like it for a man as well. So yeah, would I give it to my brother? Yeah, I would like it for my brother. It's a little too much. To be smelling it all day, I probably would get tired of it, but it would be one of those fragrances that you're walking by and people would say, what is that? Because if you notice, I keep wanting to go back to it. So it will be something that calls in for sure, probably gets compliments. All right, we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And please ring the bell in the right-hand corner. Please comment down below. You have this. What do you think of this fragrance? And that's it. Bye. Thank you.